E came to me with a lot on her plate. She has a full-time job plus a side business. She's also living at home with her parents, where she is responsible for most of the household chores. And due to mental health struggles that her sister is going through, she has also assumed care for her baby nephew. In short, the situation as is not tenable. So I needed my guidance on how to approach her parents with a division of labor that would free her up to focus more on her side business so that she can save up money to get her own place. This short but impactful coaching session is helpful for anyone who struggles to set boundaries, presenting them in a diplomatic way that establishes common ground, offers solutions to choose from, and accepts that when you compromise, not everyone will be happy. Take a
I feel like things were finally taking a turn and then it just stopped as I got wrapped up in the craziness of my personal life.
Let's talk about that. So, boundaries. You don't have to go into detail if you don't want with what's happening with your family. But the fact of the matter is, oxygen mask on you first before anyone else. However, there is a way to do this for all the people who are expecting things from you and also people you love. It's not just that they're taking from you, like you're giving to them too. Go through in your mind each of these people and the things that they need from you. Is there a way that you can have a discussion with them that offers up a solution that is not the current one? So it's not a screw you, I'm not helping anymore, peace out, but some kind of alternative, almost imagining yourself like a diplomat here. And it might be easier, by the way, if you don't think of yourself as you anymore, because you have a lot of baggage wrapped up in this, for lack of a better word. But instead, you are a diplomat and you want to come to a compromise, a solution in which everybody is getting something, but not everything. And that also means you might have to come to terms with letting people down, but you're already letting yourself down right now. We already have 100% letting E down, knowing this is a compromise that isn't going to make everybody happy, but it is going to give them something, giving something to yourself. Can you imagine doing that? Slash, have you already done that?
I can have these type of diplomatic conversations with some people, but not all, just because of their mental health conditions. So that very much plays into the chaos of my life. So it's a little hard to navigate, but I can definitely think of two main people that I can have these conversations with, and I think that they would be more than open and happy to have them with me. They definitely see me struggling every day. They appreciate my labor, but
Yeah. And by the way, this is advice for not just you, anybody listening, if it's home, work, whatever, position it as in their best interest. So, for example, I'll give you a work related one. Somebody is asking you for help on a project, and you really just don't have time for it. And so you say to them, you deserve better focus. Like you deserve more thoughtful responses and attention that given my circumstances right now, I am unfortunately not able to give as much as I would want to. And because you deserve better, can we figure out a way in which maybe you're asking me one question? I'm like, I'll quickly review it. And if I'm able to answer it in 5 minutes or less, I'll do it. Or maybe you send me the list of the things you need help with at the end of the week. And I'll so come up with solutions already for them that they can then consider. So it's not just, hey, this isn't working for me. Bye. And you leave them hanging. But it's already those compromises, right? A, B, or C options. By the way, if you've got your own suggestions, cool. I want to hear it. But again, it's positioned as you deserve better than what I'm able to currently give, kind of thing. Yeah. How does that sound?
that sounds great. I definitely think I'm gonna start adopting that a little bit more, which I do, but not to the full extent. And I think it'll be very helpful adopting that approach, especially when it comes to work.
Yeah. And knowing that it's actually better for them. It truly is. Okay. So if you have any kind of guilt about yourself or whatever, just remember when you are drained, it actually hurts them too, not just you. Same thing with not advocating for yourself or not speaking up or not sharing ideas. Not sure if you're that kind of person, but that doesn't just hurt you and your career. It actually hurts your boss and the company. Like the company could use your ideas or people who are nervous about putting their business out there. I'm like, it's not just hurting your business, it's hurting the potential customers who could benefit from your business. So anytime you're like, oh, like I feel bad, just flip it and say, actually, does me implementing this change positively impact the other person? Could I see that, like, short term, long term, whatever? And if the answer is yeah, actually, I do think this would be helpful for them ultimately, then hold on to that and maybe even elicit their guidance in it. People love to feel useful. They feel flattered when you ask their opinion. You don't need to necessarily say the word struggling if that doesn't feel right, but like, I'm juggling X, Y, and Z, and I'm looking for a more efficient way to conserve energy or something. Like, you can present it in however look makes you look good. I have noticed you're really good at that, or I'd be curious what your ideas are, right? And even if they're the person that you actually need to be setting the boundaries with, if you're almost sneakily presenting it like that, oh, I'm seeking your guidance on this. The teachable moment for them. I would say for the mental health stuff, you're juggling, there's a lot of emotional labor on top of the labor. Just a quick question for you. Have you connected with other people who are in a similar situation to you?
I'm seeking community. I recently joined a support group. I'm looking for more. I bought the books. I'm doing
Okay.
everything I can.
Did that feel like more work though to you? Is it another thing on your to-do list?
Oh, absolutely. But I am stuck in this. If I don't do it, nobody will in all aspects of my life. It's very frustrating.
I feel like you have this leakage that's happening. So it's like never going to let you fly. There are some things maybe in life that just simply cannot be changed, like objective facts. For example, my son, he has a heart condition, he has medical needs. It is what it is. However, I do think we may have more room than we even realize to play with how we deal with it. So, as detailed as you feel comfortable giving me, with whatever scenario in your personal life, with the family, the obligations you feel you have, I really want to challenge us to find by the end of this session, you are able to make some kind of change, whether it's internal, okay, how you're emotionally dealing with it, the breaks you take for yourself, your self-care, and or external change you make, right? Some logistical, hey, I can't just be me, guys, and what those conversations would look like. If you can give me some specifics on, okay, every week I'm responsible for X, Y, and Z, or we can work with an actual situation that's probably going to be more helpful to you than if we're speaking in abstracts, but whatever you're comfortable with.
I can give a very simple breakdown of my situation. I'm at home with my family, so my parents, and
Mhm.
they let me live rent free.
Okay.
And I've always been the child who likes to reciprocate in exchange for letting them letting me live here rent free. I told them I can provide the groceries, I can do the cooking, I can do the cleaning, and it's quickly become just me doing all the things. And another layer on top of that is that I have a sibling who went away to university, but she has a child. He couldn't go with her. He's here with me, between me and his dad.
Mhm.
But it's quickly also just another thing on top of all the things, being his caretaker part-time.
And what is the mental health component, if you don't mind me asking?
It's also with my sister.
And is that the impact on you is an emotional burden and or like crises that you find you have to drop everything and deal with? Or is it preventing you from having conversations with her about care for her child or all of
It's
the above?
it's all of the above. Yeah, I wasn't ever asked to care for her child, but here I am.
Yeah. And then what is the support, if any, from anyone else in your family in regards to both dealing with her and with her child?
My mom and I, we tag team, both take care of him, but I spend more time taking care of him, especially because I work from home, pick him up after school, and with him all the way until bedtime, and then I stay up and work.
And when you had mentioned there were two people that you felt would be open to the conversation of shifting labor, shouldering labor differently, was that your parents? Was that his father, your mom?
Yeah, my
Who?
parents. Yeah, they're super open. They want to see me win,
Yeah.
but they definitely rely on all my labor.
Mm,
Very tired.
yeah. Have you had conversations with them about this before?
Here and there, and I've tried to approach it with solutions like mentioning hiring a cleaning person, absolutely got shot down. Mentioning figuring out ways to organize time, shot down. Figuring out ways to make all the things, the cooking and cleaning, a little bit easier, lighter, also just shot down.
Was it a division of labor thing? Hey, I'll be responsible for these rooms, you be responsible for those rooms.
Yeah, I try to make a division of labor amongst all the different people who live here every now and then, and it just got shot down.
And why? What was the rationale for no?
The strategy I came up with is assigning different tasks to different people, and
Mhm.
instead My mom, she's no, it's everybody's job, and therefore nobody did it, and therefore it fell back on me.
And then did you have a follow-up conversation with her about that?
I don't think so.
Okay. All right. I'm going to just say a couple of stuff and then you tell me if any of this would work with your family dynamic. I am not saying you should make a PowerPoint presentation, but I think you should have a conversation with them in which they know that you are being very serious about this. And the conversation is this: we have tried X, Y, and Z things, and I am seeing that the more I give to the family, the longer it's taking me to make my own money and ultimately move out. And I think we're all in agreement here. That's the ultimate goal. So basically, you're establishing the shared intention. So, not your intention, but the shared intention. And I would assume everybody wants you to, as you said, win, right? But what does winning mean? Winning means, I would say, ultimately living on your own, making good money, sustainable money, thriving in your career and in your life, maybe even having your own child, right? Would you say your parents agree that is a goal?
Oh, absolutely.
We're going to start with the shared goal. So we're getting buy-in from everybody. We all want that to happen. And maybe you could even try to put a timeline on it. Because I think putting a timeline on something, as much of a scary urgency that can give, it can also make it real. So if you say, I would love by 6 months from now, I will have gotten my own place and it's going to cost me approximately X dollars, let's say. And maybe you're not going into too much detail with them, but you're giving timelines to this so that, again, we're serious, guys. This isn't an abstract. It would be nice if. No, in 6 months, ideally, I would be living on my own, which means I need to make X dollars. At the rate I'm going now, it's not going to happen. And maybe you're going to say, at the rate I'm going now, it's going to take me 3 years, 3 years. Now, hey, listen, secretly, maybe people are happy you're there because A, they love you. B, you're giving all of this free labor. So even though they're declaring that they have a shared goal with you, subconsciously, there might be some resistance to it. I'm just giving you a heads up on that. But if you keep hammering home, we all agree that the intention is for me to do this in approximately 6 months. That means I'm going to need to shift my focus from doing less at home and more on this other stuff. And what is happening right now, it's just not sustainable. I will not get there in this timeline, if at all. And you can say, I came up with 3 solutions before that got shot down. This is why you ask them, what would you do? And when your mom says, it's all of our job or whatever, like if they repeat the thing that's already been done before that quite frankly didn't work, and we can all agree there's just facts here. Factually, this did not work. This did not work. How about, and then come up with an idea, we try it for 2 weeks. So you're not having people sign on for a whole new thing. But if you're like, I think for the next 2 weeks, if I'm responsible for upstairs and you're responsible for downstairs, let's come back together in 2 weeks. And I'm going to tell you what that impact was on my business. So not, oh, I'm going to be making more money in 2 weeks, but you can say, oh my gosh, now after that change, I was able to add an extra hour to my side business. And maybe that's all you have to share. Or, oh my gosh, I felt so much better. Like I had so much more energy. I really noticed a lift in my mood, whatever. But you're giving them results. That goes back to my earlier thing that I was saying about like, how do we quantify this? It's making everything concrete. Because when you start to speak with concrete stuff here, it's a more productive dialogue, I think,
Mhm.
than just this is how I'm feeling, I'm drowning, solution. No, bye. It's time frames, experiments. Let's regroup, buy in. How'd y'all feel about this by the end of the 2 weeks? Did it work for you? Did it not work for you? And why? Always making sure we know why. Tell me, would any of this be feasible within your current family dynamic?
It could be feasible. I can definitely give it a try. And I actually do have some sort of coming deadline because I am going to be moving out possibly within a year.
Okay.
So I will be gone and they will have to figure it out on their own. And I guess I should take off the training wheels and start implementing those solutions or start testing those solutions with them because I'm going to leave and they're going to need some to figure all of this stuff out.
Yeah. What were you this person all growing up? Have you been this house cleaner for your whole life? What were your parents doing?
Not necessarily. I guess I was here and there between school and home and trying to be out of this place as much as I could. But when I moved in after college, I definitely took the responsibility to try to fix all the problems.
No, everyone's an adult making choices with mental health. I know that there are extra considerations there, but It sounds like you need to parent your parents. And if your parents were going off to college or going off to adulthood when they were leaving, you wouldn't do everything for them and then say good luck, right? Like you would, to use your words, take the training wheels off in a process. So, yeah, again, I think just to reiterate, starting with the shared goal that everybody has, giving them an honest, hard look at the reality of the situation and what it's doing to you and your ability to reach your goals, the shared goals that we all have established here. Giving a time frame that is achievable, so not in a year. That could be like, yes, I live out in a year, but a timeline in which we can experiment with a new way of operating, being getting their buy-in for that new way of operating, and then confirming that y'all are going to check in after the 2 weeks. Because maybe after the 2 weeks, everybody goes, that was great. Or they say, actually, can I swap out with you? Can I do the upstairs and you do the downstairs? Or, hey, I noticed I can only do half of it or something. Just so where people don't feel like it's being thrust upon them and it is what it is, that they're always participating in the solution, but you have to really guide the solution and be firm with it. And again, just reminding them, we all can't reach this goal if this doesn't change. And that this is better for everybody too. What are the things that might stop you from doing this just internally? So, not just the resistance from them. What are some obstacles you can foresee happening that would get in the way of your ability to have this kind of conversation with them? Or not just have the conversation, but follow through on it. Make sure that it's happening, that whatever y'all agree on, this is the way it's going to be.
Yeah, the solution that I can come up with is revisiting the conversation about having someone to help come clean, but I know I'm gonna pay for it as well, if that makes sense.
It would be your money.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Everything is mine. Yeah. Anything I come up with, I have to pay for.
What happens if you just stopped doing this work?
This place would fall apart.
Then what would happen?
I don't know. I think everybody would be very depressed. And I have a child in the mix too, so I feel like I can't let it fall apart.
It maybe could be less put together than you think that it does too. My closing minute with you, I would say everything I've suggested, it will make some positive change, but it's not, I think, going to ever be what you want it to be, given the limitations that people have here, perhaps in shared values. Like they're maybe fine with a house that looks differently than yours. So what you're asking them to do, they quite frankly just don't care as much as you. Right. And that might be a reality of it. So make your suggestion, have this conversation, but also maybe have a step down solution of, or if it's not at the level that I want it to be, what's a second decent enough livable situation? And to my point earlier of compromises don't make people happy, but it needs to make it better. I hope during all of this, you're feeling immensely proud of yourself and maybe journal. I have a feeling that what you're going through personally could actually be a really big opportunity for you to help others because you're not the only person who has to parent their parents or juggle a lot of things like this. If you want to start putting yourself out there of, hey, if you're experiencing this, doing 30 or 60-minute phone sessions with people for money, and I know you're still in the midst of figuring it out, but you've probably learned a lot than maybe you've been giving yourself credit for. Pass that knowledge on to others who need it and get paid for it. So you can make it into not just a business, but something that allows you to impact even more people. You're not going to be able to impact more people if you can't get paid. So again, heartstrings and purse strings, they must go together and they can go together. All right. Thanks you for being here. I appreciate you so much.
Thank you so much, Claire, for having me. This was awesome. And you gave me so many gems to work through, so I appreciate it.
Yay.